start with Chris.
Hey Chase, for you, what ultimately led to you sticking with Florida State despite Nebraska and others pursuing you down the stretch?
It definitely wasn't, like my recruitment process wasn't like an easy thing for me, but what ultimately led to me sticking here is just my relationships with the coaches. And I knew like ever since I walked in this place that this was the place that I wanted to play at, especially getting to know Coach Thompson, getting to know Coach Norvell. But a bunch of things led to the decision. I'd say my relationships were the main one.
We go to Brendan.
Following up on that, this is obviously a long way from home. I guess what went into the decision to be comfortable moving this far away? What set out about, I guess, Florida State compared to home, I guess?
Yeah, well, going back to what I said, really the relationships is what set me apart from different colleges. And I felt way closer to the staff here than any other place. And also my parents and my whole family just being like supportive with me going halfway across the country, going to play. My parents also noticed that this coaching staff was a little bit different, and they really like make it an important part of themselves to build relationships with the recruits and now as a player. So it's all been great.
We go back to Chris.
How much has having Randy Pittman been around been beneficial for you to learn Gus Malzahn, where you guys were tight ends, how you'll fit into this offense?
Yeah, getting to know Randy's been awesome. He's been a huge leader to me, and he's always been one of those guys that like, you know, if I mess up or like don't know the play or anything, he'll always help me out and help me get to where I need to be. So definitely having him in the room, being a leader to me, is someone I look up to. That's pretty important to me.
Gonna go to Jordan.
Hey Chase, you mentioned transitioning to Florida State. What was the reason to early enroll, and also how has the first month been here in Tallahassee?
I would say my main reason, honestly, is my brother is also a tight end in college football, and he told me his biggest mistake was not going early because it gives you a chance to, you know, see the field, you know the playbook a little bit better, get to just be working out with the guys a lot more, so the coaches build trust with you. And then, what was the second part of your question?
Just how's it been moving here in your first month?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, all the coaches, the way they acted through recruiting, I've noticed that it's all really been the same. So there was no like, they weren't fake through recruiting and then changed up when I got here. So yeah, it's all been really good. I've adjusted really well, even being so far from home. I'd love to hear.
Gonna go to Liam.
Kind of a follow-up to that, what has it been like with this tight end group? We talked to Randy last week. He said you guys are so connected, spending time together, working out, doing those things. How has that helped you transition and ease into this process?
It's been really helpful. All the guys in the whole tight end room have been, again, leaders to me, and just helping me like with everything, through workouts, through learning the plays, all that stuff. Just having those guys that have been in the system for a little bit longer than me and understand college football a little bit more than me, helping me out. It's been a big deal.
We go up front to Kurt.
Kind of along those lines. I know you haven't seen them, I guess, in a practice yet, but it's a young tight end group fairly, but it's a pretty really talented group with the two guys last year, bringing in Randy, bringing in you and Mark Easton. I guess just how excited are you to see? I mean, how versatile and how many different ways that group and all the different guys can be used within this offense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Our tight end group, we definitely have a lot of different body types, and I think that means we can play a lot of different type of ways. So I think each player in our room can bring a little bit different to the table. But I think it's pretty special, and not many teams that possess that. So it's been really good. Again, just learning from those guys. But yeah, it's been fun to be around them.
Gonna go to Corey.
That said, there are a lot of tight ends in that room with a lot of experience. How do you foresee yourself getting on the field this year? Is that a big deal to you to play as a freshman? How can you make an impact on this team this year?
Yeah, I would say making an impact is important to me, but I'm just gonna do what I can to help the team right now. And obviously, you know, the goal is to see the field, but just doing what I can to help the team. And if I don't see the field, then you know, it is what it is, and I'm gonna keep working hard, keep showing up every day, bringing it. But yeah, just doing what I can.
We'll go back to Abel.
Chase, obviously, as you said, relationships are like important in recruiting. When you were being recruited as a tight end, like what are the sort of things you would like to hear about the way you're going to be utilized, the way they run their offense with the tight end? What were the sort of those things that made Florida State the right fit for you?
Yeah, something important to me was that a tight end would be utilized as a pass catcher, not only as a blocker, to be versatile and be able to do both. Because ultimately, that's what's going to get you to the NFL and and going to develop you as a player. And Coach Norvell's been able to prove that with tight ends prior, that you can use them in the offense and do that stuff. So that stuck out to me, and just all that.
Go back over here to Liam.
Chase, it's only been a month, obviously, but learning this Malzahn offense, and you talk about being versatile, and we heard Adrian said it's fast and it's exciting. Just how excited are you to get in there and kind of prove what you just said, you can be a versatile tight end?
Yeah, very excited. I've been super excited about this coming year, and I just can't wait to be able to, when we actually throw pads on in the spring, be able to show my abilities and all that stuff. But now Coach Malzahn, great coach. I love the guy. Although he didn't recruit me, but just getting to know him has been really good. And his offense, we're starting to learn it now, so it's been coming pretty good.
Gonna go to Matt.
One of the assistant coaches, Preston Brady, posted a video of him going in the fountain because you signed. How big was that relationship to your recruitment, and what can you tell us about Preston?
Absolutely. Preston was one of the key factors in my recruitment, and I've always had a close relationship with him since day one. And he's been one of those guys that's just like always there for you, always sticking up for you. So having that relationship with him was definitely key, and was one of the many reasons that ended up getting me here.
Go to Corey.
During the signing day ceremony and the early signing period, when you signed, Coach Norvell talked as if maybe you were the #1 priority. He was very, very excited to get you and sign you. I assume that was the conversation he had with you throughout the recruiting process, and what did that mean for him to say that about you, and just the way he spoke to you in general about your potential here at Florida State?
Absolutely, yeah. Coach Norvell and I have always had a pretty good relationship, and one thing that stuck out to me is that he made me a priority through the recruiting process, and I could tell those things. So having him show to me that I was a priority was really important, and nothing's changed. He's hard on me. He's hard on everyone. That's what makes him special.
Gonna go back to Aslan.
I know it's been a short time, but have you learned anything about yourself going through tour of duty? What have you learned about your teammates? And do you see kind of leaders emerging, or is it right now kind of just doing what the coaches are telling you and letting them lead?
Definitely, I can see leaders emerging. You can see the guys that are really stepping up because, it gets tough at times. I think I've done a pretty good job so far, and just trying to continue to get better at it. Try and, as myself, get better at being a leader and be one of those guys. Even though I'm a freshman, that's a goal of mine to be able to be one of those guys that can lead.
Back to Jordan.
I know they're on the defensive side of the ball, but did you have a connection at all with some of the Nebraska coaching staff that came from Nebraska to Florida State, or some of these players? And if not, have you been able to connect with them? Obviously, both were from Nebraska last season.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny how it actually shook out, because I did have really good relationships with them at Nebraska, and those were some of my favorite coaches there. And already being committed, seeing them come here is just like, I tell them that they followed me.
Anything else? All right, we're gonna go to Matt for the last one.
I think you're going to be the first player from Nebraska to actually play at Florida State. There may be one a long time ago, but at least in recent times.
Mhm.
What can you tell us about maybe a play style that's different from Nebraska, or what you bring from the Cornhusker State to come to Florida?
Definitely. Well, I like to think I bring toughness, being one of those Midwest guys. Just being mentally tough is a big thing of mine. Trying to stay strong mentally, and then all the talents that I possess, I say it's from my home state, Nebraska, but also just bringing it here to showcase my abilities.
All right. Thanks, Chase.
Thanks.